time to focus on the things you need, the things you deserve. You deserve a healthy body. Supplements that get you moving and keep you moving. That make you feel good, look good, do good. And they shouldn't contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, or heavy metals, ever. Supplements that are clinically studied, use proven absorption technologies, are designed by scientists, and are ethically sourced and produced. Supplements with everything you need, nothing you don't. You deserve a company that you can trust, that's dedicated to safe manufacturing practices and third-party testing, that ensures the highest quality of effectiveness from extraction of ingredients all the way to the composition of the packaging. Wait a second. You deserve to see the process. You deserve a company led by a CEO with a deep belief in the power of people, dedicated to inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve success. A company with a phytonutrient chemist and expert on natural molecules who is obsessed with human health and has your best interest in mind to design its products. A board comprised of talented doctors from around the world. You deserve to be surrounded by people you trust and look up to. Empowered ambassadors that inspire wellness every day. Leaders who are rooting for you to be the best version of yourself. A community that works hard and plays hard. You deserve to experience adventures that take you around the world, and you deserve to be recognized for your hard work. It's time to get what you deserve. It's time to shift your focus. 3.
I'm so excited to see so many countries being represented today in our learning forum. And so I'm going to say welcome, Salamat, Malam, ¿Cómo estás? And Ni hao. I'm Dr. Ramona Miranda. And, about a year ago, I had this very interesting conversation with an authentic leader. He's going to be our speaker today. And what he said really stuck with me for a very, very long time. And the quote he spoke about was, if our actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and be more, we are leaders. His leadership has been very inspirational to me. Now, when you look at the speaker, many people have told me he's so young and youthful. And I can say on a lighter note that a lot of it also has to do with our product 3, which is Collagen. Now, believe me, he brings with him extensive global, deep experience in building and leading businesses. And in addition to that, he's a force to really reckon with when it comes to very disruptive strategies in the e-commerce world. Now, he's initiating his master series with us today, which is phase 1. In your business, how are you going to fire up your team? Join me in welcoming the one and only Samson Li. Over to you, Samson.
Thank you, Dr. Ramona. Hello, everybody from around the world. We want to give Dr. Ramona a big hand, okay? Because this is her first hosting gig with 3 internationals. So thank you so much. And but as those of you who don't know Dr. Ramona, she has lived all over the world. I was very fortunate to meet her in Toronto last year. I think I remember your background being a corporate trainer and coach and, just a consultant. And, she has done a lot. And we are very happy to have you being a part of 3, Dr. Ramona. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for that really heavy edification. I don't really deserve it because any leader success is not the leader, but rather the team. So that's the culture we want to build, and that's the kind of company we want to build. So, and I want to thank you for everybody taking the time to be here, because I know there are people who are, for example, in the East Coast of the United States and Canada, and it's about 11 p.m. over there. And at the same time, we go all the way to Asia. I know we have some friends from Hong Kong and Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, and other places. Maybe I don't even know. So welcome, everybody. So today, I want to give a special thanks to Sally Chung and Dr. Bob Green in California, because it was them that kind of got this ball rolling about doing a training on people getting started, because especially with their group in San Francisco, most of them are just starting their business. So mastering the phase one in building your business is very important. But I want to just maybe give a little caveat, because all of you here at 3, you are in for a ride of a lifetime. You don't even know it. Because first of all, in our industry, very few people get to be at the very beginning of a massive company, very few. And I say that even though we're not there yet, just because there's many of us who came to find Daniel to open this company called 3 for us, and all of you are part of it. But in a way, it is a startup, but also it's not, because of the leadership and experience from corporate and in the field to build this massive company. And like our friends in Indonesia, I love what they say. I love what they talk about. This is their billion-dollar project. Okay. So, and I say that not because, oh, it's some sort of hype. I say that because you're working with people who have built in the past, and not a long while ago, within the last decade, a multi-billion-dollar company. And some of you, I know, old friends, you were a part of that. So you saw the ride, you saw the journey. So it's in a way, in this business, and I want to get down to very basic, I want to encourage all of you to tell that story. Because in this business, we're in the marketing business, but we are very lucky because of Dr. Dan, because of the 3 pillars of the 3 science. We're also in R&D, and that's what he's doing. So yesterday, I don't know if those of you caught it, that he's been discovering new bioactive molecules. So he might make some announcement in August. Would that be exciting? So we're not just a marketing company selling somebody else's product. This is our own. And it's all OEM, and you should be all very proud of it. And we're lucky to be that kind of company rather than just a marketing company. But in the field, what we do is marketing. So sales and marketing, and a lot of people from just a business level, if you're not familiar with that, well, there is a difference between sales and marketing. And this is what maybe I can give you an analogy. I mentioned it a little bit yesterday, and I want to do it tonight. And I hope all of you had a chance to review the training I did yesterday. That was something I put together because it came about as a matter of practicality and really helping the local leaders in Los Angeles to build out a regular English-speaking group. So in sales and marketing, we know what sales is. It's like, if you have money, I have a product or service, you give me the money and I give it to you, so I sold it to you, right? Now here is similar but different. Because of course, if you have product on hand, you could sell it to somebody, right? And you can collect the money from them. So you sold it to them. But also, if you refer somebody to your replicated website, who collects the money from them? It's the company. Who ships them the product? It's the company. So who sold it to them? It's the company. So you just promoted something and somebody took action. So that is called marketing. Now, how you promoted it, that's the part of marketing that, to tell you the truth, in my past furniture business, I owned 3 stores. After I made money and failed at that business and then got into this industry, I realized I knew nothing about marketing until I got into this industry. Because nobody No marketing class in university ever tell you, you know what marketing is? Simple as facts tell, story sell. Facts tell, story sell. So what I found is that, in building the business, especially in three, after 1 year, there are a lot of different kinds of people coming together, and many people have built different ways in their past, and some of them still using the same way. So what I would caution, I would maybe caution, but maybe also just a gentle reminder from my own experience and observation in almost 20 years in the industry, is that I see people coming from a different platform or a different industry. They are paid differently. The products are different. The strategy is different, but they still use the old mindset, the old way that they know to do this new business. So many times I find that people struggle and they struggle and they struggle. And this is a more intimate group, I can say, rather than just, a massive webinar like on Tuesday, okay? But I say that with in my heart, because number one, I have experienced that when I was in my furniture business. When I lost money, I became an auctioneer, and then somehow I got into the industry. I found out the first 2 to 3 years I did not do much because I used my own retail mindset to do this business. So today I'm going to give you an example which I mentioned briefly yesterday. I think it will catch your attention. And I think it's very revealing the type of business we are, except that, of course, it's kind of hybrid, right? Face-to-face, but also online. So yesterday, I mentioned something about real estate. Now, most people who have maybe bought a house or have a friend who's a real estate agent, they understand how that industry is structured. Maybe I can break it down to a very basic level. Obviously, there are global residential real estate companies. For example, like Remax. Maybe some of you are Remax real estate agents or brokers, okay? But Remax is everywhere in the world. Now, if me and you, and which I was before, became a real estate broker, we're going to open our real estate office, right? And we all know that in the real estate office, the real estate broker have a lot of real estate agents under him. Is that correct? Right? Okay. So, well, think about it like this. If we were going to open that real estate office as a broker, what's the first thing we need to do? Think about that for a second, because for sure, we can go out, find clients, sell houses ourselves, right? One house at a time. And at the same time, we can hire 50, 100, 200 agents, commission only. And maybe there's even real estate offices where you have to pay a desk fee. You have to pay the broker to be in that office even. So these real estate agents, we override them, whatever sales that they do, just like what we do here in three, just similar, right? And at the same time, we know that the real estate agents in our office, they know people that we don't know. Does it make sense? I think it's very transparent. So of course, in three, yes, we can sell the product, we can promote it and sell it from our personal replicated website. And we are also given the opportunity to build a sales team, organization around the world. Think about that, around the world. And from a very practical standpoint, and in a way, that's the difference between three as in the industry of, or in the business model, multi-level marketing versus direct selling. For example, I know today we have some amazing leaders that have incredible track record in, for example, the company that starts with an M. And these amazing leaders, they work their butt off, every month, every week to hit the commission, right? To hit the quota. But they are, they're not very deep, right? And it takes a lot of work, and years to get to quote unquote a national level, right? In three, I know some of you saw the empowerment call last week with Kim and Christine Peterson, who was the #1 in the world for that company. But here's the thing, like the difference between multi-level is that you go much deeper in terms of paying commission. And now for me, I'll say, oh, I don't like MLM, but you know what? Most people don't even understand what that is. From a very practical business point of view, when I see the pay structure, I say, I get it, because that's how real estate is paid on 3 level, 2 to 3 or 4 level. Well, if I'm the broker, I'm the boss, I have agents, that's 2 level, but I also have people work for me like secretary assistants, same thing with the real estate agent, that's another 2 or 3 level. Hello. And you know, in my furniture business is the same way. I'm the boss, I'm the first level. I have manager, regional manager, because I have 3 stores. And then I have supervisors and store manager, and then down to the salespeople. That's 4 or 5 level. Hello. So that's all that is. MLM, multi-level marketing, it's a pay plan. But the very practical aspect of it is that knowing that how people get paid motivates different behavior. For example, this incredible company that's been around with the pink cars, their pay plan is heavily weighted on retail bonus, etc. So what do people do? They have to retail a lot. They have to consistently get customers. That's what they're motivated to do, because the pay plan motivates them to do that. Now in 3, in a binary, it is incredible, because and I was talking with I was discussing with somebody today. Sorry, I've done so many phone calls. And when we talk about the 3 compensation plan, there is no breakaway. What that means is, in traditional marketing, such as like the A companies, both of them, right? And then N company, that's something to do with, you know, this and many company. After you get past a certain level, the people below you do not belong to you anymore. Their sales have no relation to you. Or maybe in those companies, if somebody below you pass your rank, they break away from you. You don't get override until you reach a higher rank again. That's called a breakaway. But you know who keeps the money when your organization in those companies break away from you? The company keeps it. That's how it works. Okay. So that's why I jokingly, don't repeat it. But for the incentive trip, you make Daniel pay for your trip. Work hard. Okay. Now, okay. So in terms of MLM, all I know is that in 300% of what your team does, you get credit for. And it sits there until you use it, until you cycle it up. Is that good? It's amazing. And in those other plans or other companies, every team, every country is, you have to open a new position for each country. Okay? So you cannot even, something popped up. You cannot even blend the countries together for your team to leverage the other countries. And guess what 3 does? All together. That's why this is so powerful. And I say all this, I'm taking the time to say this because if only people knew how big this business can be. And look, today I'm not going to make any income claim whatsoever, but I'm going to I'm trying to describe to you what I experienced in my 20 years career in this industry, because every company I've been to, it's been a binary and global seamless. So I know I have experience, 20 years experience in this kind of compensation plan. I understand how big it is because I saw Kim do it. When I was just a little guy in the industry, I just watch her travel. I'm like, how is the money being made? In the first company I met Kim, I saw her in 2.5 years, and the number came out later. She had 2.5 years, 240,000 people in her organization. It just like blew my mind because at the time I was still in my retail, right? I have to talk to one person at a time. I didn't have time to talk to 240,000, right? But no, it's not. It's when you empower people in your team, they go blow it up themselves with or without you, right? So there's a lot of things in this business we need to do the right way. Now, Kim has expressed clearly, I'm going to repeat it again, like I did yesterday, that there are three types of activity. Number one is to learn. Actually, what we used to say is to unlearn and then learn, to relearn. You got to unlearn. Like I mentioned yesterday, if you were at the top of a mountain in your traditional career or in another company or in this industry, to get to the other peak, other mountain, okay, you have maybe in the Himalayas, you have K1, and then you have and you have Mount Everest, okay? They're like look at each other, right? So like, but how you there's no way for you to fly over there to Mount Everest if you're a K1. So what you got to do? You got to come down the mountain and hike back up the road. Because I tell you, every company, every pay plan is different because different culture, different incentive, different habits. You got to drop your old habit and try to really like shed your old mindset and your habit and be open to listening and hearing what this really is. And the first thing, if you're able to do that and you commit yourself to do that, because it's hard with your ego because we are creatures of habit. I'm telling you, the hardest part to overcome is ourselves 100% of the time. Because how the business is, our result is based on how we think. Okay? How we look at it, our perspective. All right? So my mind, being in this industry has completely opened the possibilities because I've seen all kinds of people succeed and for all different reasons. But there's only a few reasons that they fail. It's always those same 1, 2, 3 reasons. Okay? So now let's move on. So first to unlearn and learn, and second to build, and third to support others. So before you can support others, when you start the business, is to build. So to build, it consists of like, if you can imagine, we've all seen assembly lines, right? Like cars, right, rolling down the line, and then machines going to do different things, or the people put different parts on the car. If you don't know, you can look it up on YouTube. Okay. But imagine if it's an assembly line. So you're putting people in that line, or quote unquote, like a pipeline. All right. And will everybody stick? No. Some people will drop out. But you want to just give them information, and do how to lead them to discover what this really is on a holistic scale, right? Or maybe at least what they want, right? So you want to do that. You want to funnel as many people as you can in the shortest amount of time onto this assembly line. Because that is how binary works. That's the advantage of a binary pay plan when you have the two teams. Whoever comes on top overrides the next person. Okay? So if you go slow, there's no difference between 3 and like the A companies or the N company or whatever company, right? Where they have a unit level pay plan. There's no difference. So because there's a sense of urgency. If you're giving the position to join now, you should, because you know what? If you have a good upline and still work in the business and keep putting people below you, you will override those people. Whoever comes in first overrides the next person. And down the road, it's not today, tomorrow, a month, 2 months, 3 months from now. It'll be years from now. And I've seen people miss thousands of people because they came in 1 hour too late. And I've seen people who come in 1 hour earlier and end up overriding 10 to 20 different countries. If they had came in 1 hour later, they would have missed it. Now, folks, all of you, at least the ones with the camera on, do you agree making a decision is important, a timely one, right? And it's not something like, oh, I'm trying to push my friend. Oh, let me tell you, sometimes they just don't know it. If you don't make it clear to them, they might lose out. That's all I can say, because I've seen that happen. Actually, 20 years ago, I saw it happen. Those of you who know Weenie, right? Weenie, so Weenie, in the first business that I met Kim in, Weenie came in, and it was like, like 11 or 12 at night she came in. 1 hour later, a young man in Taiwan came in. And that young man, even though he was like 20, 21 years old, just a novice to this industry, about a month or two later, he recruited the #1 guy in another company in Taiwan. And that guy in 6 months brought in 15,000 people. We need to override that with just coming in 1 hour before that young man. So I'm telling you, I've seen it happen. I'm not kidding. I've seen it over and over again. So binary is about urgency. Now, let's go talk about the building, because now you see what I see in terms of picture. Binary is built for speed. It's like lighting a fire. That's why I saw right away. If you're the only one moving, you put somebody here, and then next day you put somebody else there, or maybe in a day you put another 2 or 3 people there. You're driving it. Every time somebody comes in, what happened to the points? It rolls up line, right? So the way to build it, and this is very basic, is once you put somebody in, call the people up the line. Hey, did you see I put another person below you? Did you see that? And you keep working that. You keep working that. And soon, look, not everybody will move, but that's what it takes at the beginning. Look, nowadays, a lot of people text. I would suggest that if anything that you want to say with some emphasis and power and draw their attention, get on the phone. Leave a voice message instead of text, because text is only 7% of communication, according to NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It's only 7%. 38% of that is your tone or context, right? Like how you say it, right? And then the other 55% is your body language and facial language. So you miscommunicate. Like there's no power in text. Use a voice message at least, if it's urgent. And that's how you need to work the business. Like sometimes I don't have time to read all the text. I'm driving, I don't have time. They just call, boop, just call them. If it's urgent, if it's important, if you take this business as a very important business, do it. And I say this because, and I want to emphasize on that part. If you really think this business is a good business, you got to step up your commitment. You got to step up your persistence in building this business. What I mean is we have to somehow find the time to do it, and not like every other day. Like it's like a fisherman, you fish for 2 days and then you hang the nets for 5 days a week. Don't do that. That cannot build any momentum in your business. And you know what happened if you do that? Your people would do the same thing. So do not complain that your business is slow. You got that, right? I'm just being straightforward, and it's from my heart, okay? Because I did that before. I did that before, okay? So I know what it is until I realized, oh my gosh, the first company where I met Kim, she had 25 people become millionaire. It's just, I wasn't one of them. I don't know what's going on. I'm one of those, right? People, some people, they do the business. They know what's going on. Some people, they watch what's going on. Some people like me, I didn't know what was going on. So that was my first MLM experience until like, when we got in the last project, I'm like, okay, I got to take it very seriously. That's why I gave up all my auction jobs. I burned my bridge. I quit all my jobs to do that platform full time. I don't care. My hope at that time, no income claim whatsoever. My hope at that time, if I could make 10 to 20,000 US dollar a month, man, that'd be good. And that would be good anywhere in the world too, right? I'm like, oh man, I miss those days, But you know what? If you can do that, let me tell you, income-wise, sky's the limit in this kind of platform because of its global aspect. And it happened to me last time. It was like mind-blowing. So if you only knew, it's that serious. Is there sacrifice? Yes. Is it off balance? Probably hopefully for a short time only. And I say that because entrepreneurs were different kind of people. If you're here to get some customer, that's fine. But getting customer is very difficult to elevate your income to let's say a 5 figures and up. It's very difficult. Okay. So and this is very honest feedback from my experience, my opinion. Let me just say that, my opinion. But I've seen people, the other part is building the organization. But people do what you do. So if you're like that fisherman, fish 2 days, put the net out for 5 days to dry, all your people are going to be the same. So do not complain that your business is slow. I'm just being very straight, right? So now to build momentum, and I mentioned before, it's binary. You got to go through a lot of people fast. So in my previous platform, for example, like I was a little guy, like nobody, right? Just like Kim just showed me what to do. She's like, hey, you gotta go talk to people like fast, don't invite one person to the meeting or one person on the Zoom. If they don't show up, you got 0. It's, oh, okay. So never do the minimum. You gotta write that down. Never do the minimum. In the compensation plan, you need 2 3-star legs to be at minimum plus 200 cycles to be a 4-star director. Do not just have 2 3-star legs. Do not do the minimum. Okay. And here's another rule. Never count on any one person or team to help you to become successful. Never do that. I mean, in this industry, I've seen over and over again. Somebody with a big name, with a big track record, they show up, they come in, they join, and the sponsor has all their hopes on them. And you know what happened? 6 months later, those people are gone. You're like, that balloon, when you deflate it, and they go, there goes, there goes your chi, your motivation, your hope. It gets just down the drain. And you're like down deep in the valley, in the crevice, So that you got to figure out how to climb back up. Do not bank on any one person. As you sponsor people, the people that you need to work, that are working, those are the people you need to spend your time with. Okay? People have all kinds of reasons to do the business or not to do the business. They might not tell you. Both ways, they might not tell you. All you can do is just work with the people who's taking action. If you don't have enough people working, you know what you got to do? You got to go out, find some more. So the rule is, if you're going to build an organization, aside from selling, okay, if you're going to build an organization, you got to recruit until you have no time to recruit. That's the rule, especially in binary. If I tell you you need to sponsor 20 people to get 2 to 3 to work, will you do it? Because you probably have to talk to 50, 60, 70 people to sponsor 20. Will you do it? Most people won't. That's why the beginning part of the business is the hardest. The phase 1 is always the hardest, especially for newbies, okay? Or maybe just somebody newer into the industry. So you got to recruit until you have no time to recruit. Why? Why don't you have time to recruit? Because your team, the people that want to do the business, start asking for your time to help them. Does it make sense? That's when you have to start to organize your time. But if you're sitting around, look, I forgot who was I talking to, and somebody said, oh, she only can work from 9 to 4. Well, 7 hours a day, that's a lot of time. Oh my God, that's a lot of time. How many phone calls can you make in 1 hour? How many conversations if you can make it, within 1 hour? Even if you like to, talk about the win, you can have 2 or 3 conversations in an hour. You can have 10 conversations in an hour. You can have 12 5-minute conversations just to connect and pique interest. Okay, so at the beginning in phase 1, these rules, let me tell you, is how you build a strong binary business. So if it's 7 hours, if it's 5 hours, 3 hours, if it's 2 hours, if it's 1 hour, you still have time to maximize your time. I see Nilbert on here, Mr. 25 years working for the government. He's like bam, 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 bam. Hey Nilbert. Okay. So look, you got to be somebody like Nilbert who is trained to just execute. The people that succeed, they execute. They break through. What they break through? Fear of talking to somebody is not even an option. It's like, hello, it doesn't exist in your head. So how do you do that? Well, I would give you some tips on why you do not need to be afraid to talk to people. Number 1, you know what fear stands for, right? It stands for false evidence appearing real. It's only in your head. You know how big your head is? It's only this big. Your head is only this big, okay? The world is so much bigger, okay? So you determine your reality. When you're in fear, you have no power whatsoever. If you're in fear, do not talk to anybody. Your energy, your vibe is very bad. Okay? Every word that comes out of your mouth, the tone, the words that you use, no power. So instead, flip it around. Be empowered. Why are you empowered? Realize that, look, if somebody's doing really well, making a lot of money, this opportunity has changed your life, it's as simple as black and white. Yes or no, does it work? When somebody's doing it, that means it can be done. Period. There's no if, ands, or buts. Well, if you realize that, do you have a very precious gift on your hand? And look, if you want to give somebody a Christmas present, well, let me share with you a story. When I pick up my son from school, so are you thirsty? No. How's your day? It's okay. So do you want to get something to eat? No. How about you do your homework, we go play basketball? No. So are you Mr. No today or what? Are you Mr. No today? Well, is it my fault? And do I feel sad? What can I do? Right? Even if it's your child, what can you do? Nothing. Right? So you are just a messenger. Okay? That's all you're doing. You're not the message. When they say no, they're rejecting the message. I never force anybody into anything. So I worked out a way where I can connect with people. So to be, and even up front, and we talk about it all the time. We teach, of course, FORM, right? Family, occupation, recreation, money. Those are the very basic topics you can talk with people. But I just want to say that I know some people are very rigid. I knew when I ran the market, some people have to go to FORM every time before they even talk about the business. I said, no, you don't need to. Just catch their hot button, okay? So I never, and here's the thing, I never do cold market, and the reason is because there's very little trust or no trust. We only do business with people we trust, with brands that we trust, with people that we trust. So just know that. So I always work with people who I know, they know me at least by name, okay? So, and I inquire, if I can give somebody this gift, it can bless them, why not, okay? At the same time, of course, I want to make money, but knowing that, it's like my son, no, Mr. No, what can I do? Nothing. Another analogy is like bring people to church. If they believe or not, it's not up to you. You don't have the power, okay? So I say I can never convince anybody, but be a good messenger. So I do it like this, and as I share with people, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks in LA, I'm trying to help people build just the English speaking, the small group. We put together regular office, quote unquote, regular office hour at the cafe. Okay, that's fun. So of course, how to invite. Marketing is about telling story. First story you need to master is your own. Why you do the things you do. The 3 story you know already. How a group of millionaires in this industry, global entrepreneurs came together to want to open a new company because there's such a need out there, especially after COVID, where people suffer, not only physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Can we help people? Can we empower people? Do we want to? That's what we're trying to do. That's our purpose in a way, okay? And here's the thing. I know many people want to make money, but money is the result of what you do. When you do things, you create value. From the value, you can earn money. So know that money is the result of what you do. So doing the right things, you will make money. And what you learn, it's forever in you. Money come and go. Know that. Okay. So whatever you learn, it's forever in you. So as you build the business, how you pique interest is, well, as you call a friend up, what do you normally talk about? If you sit at a coffee shop and you connected with them, meet up, what do you talk about? And I say this in a way, it's not only like the physical meetup, belly to belly, right? But also online. But here's the thing, online. Remember what text does? Is only 7% of communication. Your text, my suggestion, should be very minimal. If you cannot get people even just to have a 1 to 2 minute voice conversation, I don't know how good of a friend they are, to be honest. And if you're just trying to reach them, it's definitely something that you need to build the relationship up, to build a trust level up. So you have to use different ways to work on that, okay? So I never spend time to do a long text because it's impossible. It's impossible to communicate $1 billion project over text. It's impossible. What kind of business is it? Well, let me tell you what it is. You know what I tell people? It's a kind of business that can enable me to bring amazing technology to the world to help people with their health. At the same time, catch the biggest trend in the world called cross-border e-commerce, international e-commerce. Look, in traditional business, nowadays I order Amazon, and then all of a sudden I find out, oh, they ship from China. Oh my God, I thought I would get it the next day. Right? But it's like a week or two, right? Or maybe even 3, like where's the tracking, right? They're doing it on Amazon, they do it on Alibaba, they do it on all the Shopee or whatever online. That's international e-commerce, that's the biggest trend. But that is still traditional business because those people still have to stock the product, right? And they still have to do customer service, right? Well, here, 3 does all that for us. Now, going back, so how I pique interest, how I talk to people is I find out if they're open, because look, I'm building something big, and and the thing is, look, why is it a good business? No, if you want something like, who doesn't want to overcome the 20% to 40% inflation nowadays? Let me ask you, who doesn't? Right? Is a job going to pay you? Is your boss going to pay you a 20% raise? Yeah, good luck. It's people are at the corner. I just share with people, look, I keep track of all kinds of businesses, and I listen to the business channel, for example, in the US, the employment report was good, except 30% of those jobs are part-time. Oh my God. So people are actually working more jobs to survive. That's what they're doing. It's not really a good employment report, so you know. So people are working harder just to keep up. And also, just so you know, and this is just ammunition for you, in the 70s, and I know in the US and whatever country you are, you can think of the period that happened and, to what happened in your country. In the 70s in the US, 60s and 70s, it was still very common as one income household. Okay, one income household. So, but then in the 70s, inflation went up, right? And toward the end, when Jimmy Carter was president, it was crazy. The interest rate was really high and inflation was crazy. Then the other spouse went up to work to deal with the inflation. That's how people survived that. Okay. And then, I grew up, I'm a child of the 80s. I mean, in terms of 80 as being in junior high school and all that, right? And I see, and it's very common, latchkey kid, right? All the kids have a little chain with a key on there to go home, right? Because nobody's home, the parents are working. Some of you are laughing because you know what I'm talking about. But that's how people met inflation. Guess what it is today? What are the options? The only option already, both spouses working, they have to get another job. They have to downsize. They have to cut their expense, whatever they need to do. They have, and there are actually reports that people skip breakfast to save money. Wow. This is just some ammunition for you, okay? Because out there, people are suffering. People are on the edge. They might not tell you up front, but let me tell you, there's signs everywhere. So in this business, well, are people, and actually people getting laid off everywhere, and just entrenched all over the place in different industries, and they're in transition. People in transition. Well, I say, well, are you looking to do something? Are you just going to sit around retire? Right? Most people don't have enough money to retire yet, right? So are you open to something? And say, well, what is it? Well, so the way I go into the topic, if that, like what kind of business is it? Well, I go from a very high level. So I talk about, like I said yesterday, the 2 biggest trends, health and cross-border e-commerce, especially after COVID. Everybody want to be healthy. Imagine if you were on that respirator, no money can save you, except maybe if you pray a little harder. So, so then from there, you got to be healthy. How would you like to get in that kind of business? The medical industry is billions and billions of dollars, but what about the health industry? Yeah. So then, if we're going to do business, we got to catch that trend. The other trend, cross-border e-commerce. It's a hassle trying to deal with Amazon, eBay, whatever, trying to ship international and all that. But why not a platform with unique product in health that's cutting edge? You ride the trend. There's no way to succeed if you're against the trend. It doesn't matter. It's impossible to succeed. So you ride the trend. Then I say, well, are you open to looking at it? I said, most people, yeah. Then I get into topic. Now, those are facts, aren't they? Right? But at the same time, it's a story that's so relevant nowadays. That's why we started 3. You heard Kim's 2-minute video, right? So then you start putting people in the pipeline. But, look, like I said, people have to be open-minded. It doesn't really matter what you say. It matters everything they say. That's why for the people that sat next to me this past month, when at Tuesdays and Thursday, where I met with their prospect and all that, almost everybody signed up. The reason why is when I talk, it's two-way communication. Every step, I want to share them a little bit of information. I ask them, are you open? Share them a little bit more information. Do you see an opportunity here? I share more with the information. Let's get started. Oh, wait, that's not a question. Let's get started. Let me show you the website. That's how I do. And so I'm waiting for their feedback. So this is an interpersonal skill you need to have. You need to be a little bit more calm when talking to people or doing presentation, or, just be calm inside, because you want to hear what they say. So when you ask the question, always something positive. After you show them something, ask them, so what do you like best about it? And of course, you got to say it with a smile, right? Don't say it with a frown. It doesn't work. Say it with a smile. What do you like best about it? Right? So that keeps it positive. It's an open-ended question. It keeps it positive. Then you want to find out what they're thinking. So you got to be a very good listener. So then the next step, well, let me show you a little bit more. You want to see a little bit more? Another question. You want to see how the money is made? Then the second half of the PowerPoint in the opportunity. Does it make sense? Does this help? So there's a rule. Kim always said that. I always believe in it. Whoever opens your mouth first loses. Silence is very powerful, right? That's right. People start to get uncomfortable. There's a little pressure there. So let me tell you, when in the first company I was with Kim, there's this gentleman from China. He didn't speak much English at all. He just came here and tried to find opportunity. And he was at a decent rank in another company. When he came to work with us, when he do the one-on-one with people, when he talked to people directly, after he show everything, so do you want to get started? And he just sit there. And he can sit there for a long time. Because he's the type, when you meet him, this guy doesn't seem to talk a lot. He's that type. He would just sit there, be quiet the whole time, waiting. Look, if somebody has questions or objections, they would say it. Does that make sense? You don't have to convince them anything. You don't even know what they're thinking. You're trying to figure out, maybe they're trying to figure out their bank account. Maybe they're trying to figure out who they're going to talk with. Do not interrupt that. Just let them wait for the answer. Is that good? Okay. This is part of it. Look, if you're in negotiation, this is a big part of it, right? And in business, any transaction, that it's a negotiation. Okay. So the most important thing is, does it fit what they need, what they're looking for? Another question is, in their mind, possibly, okay, is it real? What's in it for me? Can I do it? That's what they have in their mind. If you're talking to people who are successful, well, if it's all real, Well, can my sponsor help me? Can a leader help me? I'm a newbie or I failed before. Can I really get help through you? Any MLM, like a lot of people, let's say, for example, if they meet somebody like me in the industry, right? Like I'm not recruitable because I know what I'm doing. I'm working with the best of the best in the industry, Kim. I'm not recruitable. But if I was, if I was in transition, my first question is, whatever opportunity is, can it really help me? Can it help me get what I want? Can these group of leaders help me? Are they in alignment with me? Do they have the same vibe? Can I work with them? That's the question I would have. That's a question. That's why people, oh, I want to know who the owner is. And, but more than the owner is the leader, because those are the people that will help you make money. Can they give you the support? Do they have the same? Do they have the same ilk? Are they from the same ilk? There's the same vibe, the same culture, the same heart. Okay, because people who know something, who are successful, they know business is not only about the money, it's about the people in the business. If they cannot help me, why join them? I can go to the same company, join somebody else who can help me, right? So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know to leverage. You got to make sure your sponsor talks to the new person immediately to welcome them, or a leader to welcome them, or get the question answered by your leader. Because people who are successful in this business need to know how to leverage somebody else. People say it's a pyramid. It is a pyramid, except it's not this way. It's upside down. The leader is supporting everybody else. That's the type of pyramid it is, upside down. You're trying to support your whole team, whoever's working. And that's how it is. Okay, so we have 10 more minutes to go. I don't want to keep you guys too long. And there's a lot of etiquettes that I've learned over the years, and this is not something I can just say in 1 hour. I know some of you are also years in the industry. You know what to do. You know all the etiquettes. Okay, but I will move on to that. It's important when you prospect. It's not about prospecting, but rather connecting. Connecting means, like, let's say you know somebody for years, like decades, okay? Maybe through your traditional business or traditional occupation, right? But then it's like, okay, you just send them a quick text to pitch them on something. Out of nowhere, they're like, what is this? No, my suggestion, and some of you are laughing, my suggestion is go back to the history that you've had with them. Makes sense, right? Because that's how you connect. Go back with the fun times that you had with them. And just, hey, so what's happening? Hey, you know what? I was thinking about you the other day. And of course you were, because they're on your list. Right? They're on your list. Of course you were thinking about them. Yeah, just look. And you know what? Man, I miss those times when we're together, and happy stuff is easy to connect with. Does it make sense? Right? It doesn't matter if you do it, online or through social media, but something warm and fuzzy, because there's a saying, I don't care how you express it, okay? I don't know, maybe it's a special words that you type, or maybe it's a nice voicemail. Hey, I just want to check, I was clearing my phone. Is this still your number? Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time. You can tell I'm very creative, finding excuses to contact people, right? Just have fun. My point is to have fun, okay? So, and people love fun. Okay, don't have to be so serious. Just the money part is more serious, because it can change your life. So when you do that, when you connect with them, you want to say good things to them. Like make them feel good. The more you make them feel, just don't blow their head too big, but make them feel good, so they're more open to you. Okay, laughing, having fun, good times, easy to connect. Okay, easy to connect. Now, if you have bad times with them, well. Yeah, actually, I still have to ask Gabby, the Uber driver, how she connected with her ex-husband to sign him up. But she's so good. She's just such a positive person, and she had a good relationship with him. So that's why. Trust, right? But prospecting is not a blast out to 1,000 people or 100,000 people, or maybe some people out there on here. I know have like 300,000 plus people on Instagram. Those people, I mean, look, they're influencers, they have brands. I understand that. But to convert that into money and a sustainable business that's not that simple, right? I mean, you can get sales like that and people are doing it, right? Online, live event, boom. People message you, give you their information, they're in, they buy. Okay, but that's not duplicatable. You can do it because you have 300,000 plus, 500,000 plus, 9 million people following you, but other people cannot do it. And your team, they're like, okay, you can do it, but I cannot do it. So you got to go back to the very fundamentals of psychology, how we connect, and then use the different mediums. It could be online, offline, face-to-face, coffee shop, through Facebook, through Instagram messaging, a messenger, etc. It's fine, but you should not explain too much because, like I said, if what you have is of such value, if I was going to sell you a Rolls Royce, first I need to find out if you want one or not. You cannot do that through text, First, you got to find out what the other people want. And then, well, I've never been in a Rolls Royce. Well, then you got to show them, right? What it is. That's kind of how it is, right? If we're the Rolls Royce of our industry. So those things you gotta be very mindful of. Watch every word that, however you use to communicate to them, they will take it as, oh, this is how the business is run. So if you did a lot of wrong things, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do all those wrong things too. And let me tell you, some people, they will multiply those wrong things into like a big mess. So now the other thing is, the last thing I would say, the last 5 minutes, I would say, take quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. If you were going to build your $1 million business, no income claim whatsoever, if you were going to dream about building $1 million business, what kind of people are you going to have on your left and right? That's the question. Are you going to be very selective? Do you want the best or just anybody? Well, it's not like you might not know them, but through other people, you will contact them through your team. You won't find them through your team. So yes, you got to talk to everybody without prejudging anything, because this precious gift of opportunity is so valuable. It gives people hope. It changes their mindset. It gives them, something to wake up to every day, feeling good about it. It is so precious. Go make sure you send the message, give them the message the right way within a short amount of time. So nowadays, compared to maybe 10 years ago, people have less time. Not that they have less time because it's still 24 hours in a day, but that their mind is going like boop, boop, boop. Well, forget the swiping, just like this kind of swipe. Okay, like people just swiping and they're moving so fast, their mind's moving so fast. For example, the Zooms that we have on Mondays, a Monday opportunity, though that Zoom is for people who have vested interest, like they're very interested. You put them on the Zoom to finalize, to give them a little bit more detail to close the deal. They should have, if they look at the information 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, it used to be only 3, but now because you cannot send them like a book about 3, you just send them like bits and bits and bits and bits. How do you like it? Do you like it? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, keep moving them on the pipeline, right? And then that's how you arrive at, how serious. Now, when do you sign them up? Do you sign them up after the big presentation? No. You sign them up when they say, okay, this is good, I'm in. Even if they have not seen the big presentation. If they say yes, it's done. If they're in, it's done. Do not say anything. Open the website. What username would you like? That's the next question you should have. Because I've seen people, for example, I just give an example, and it could be online, offline, okay? But I'll give you an example offline. In the meeting, people, they bring their friend, the friend's excited, and oh yeah, it sounds good, I'm in. And they're like, yeah, and then they start then the person who brought them, the sponsor, start talking about Dr. Dan, how great he is. Oh my God, Kim and this and Daniel this, and oh, the product's so good. And then half an hour later, they still haven't signed up. Do not do that. When people say they're in, move to the website, replicate a website. What username would you like? Let's get started. That's it. Okay. Do not waste time. Get to the point fast because people are busy. So, like the information I send, okay, if I through the talking, I always send a few things. Number one, people want to know why. And there's a saying, leaders start with why. They tell you why they do things. Okay. So on a high level, why three, right? So I tell the story of a group of millionaires from so many countries, and they've spent years in industry. These are, 7, 8-figure, 9-figure earner. They come together and to find to find an individual, to find an owner to open a new company. Why? Pandemic. People are suffering. Things have changed. We were locked down. We're fulfilling a need. That's the trend. Health. Cross-border e-commerce. We need to find somebody capable of building that kind of platform. How am I doing, Nilbert? All right. I'm just joking because Nilbert, I know he's watching, taking notes. But anyway, so it's that simple. Okay. Then I say, so I send him Kim's 2-minute video because she tells why she's doing it. And of course, I tell a little bit of Kim's story. She's one of the very rare people who have made 9 figures in this industry in 30 years, of her career. But you know what? She's somebody with a heart of gold. I have met her personally, shook her hand, on stage, off stage, on video, off video. She's still the same. She is who she is. She's broken through. She's like the Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? She's like, nothing can shake her. Nothing. Because she knows what she's doing. And how many people you know like that? What is the chance of you getting involved in a business and you have a chance to learn from somebody like that who's willing to teach you, right? I know Warren Buffett, Charlie Unger, they come out once in a while, but it's not often enough, okay? But Kim, she's there running the business, okay? Running it, she's still in the trenches. And how much time do we have with her? Oops. Learn fast, okay? Second, so I would send her Kim's video. Then I would say, hey, then I know people want to know who else is in the business, because the biggest mistake people have is like, I tell them everything. I do this. This is how I do it. And so you're the only messenger. Do not do that. People want to know who else is in the business. And we are so blessed with 3. There's people from all walks of life, all races, all nationality, all culture in 3. It's amazing. When you show those event videos, wow, powerful, right? And I'm just joking because Asians is like, oh, there's a lot of Caucasian Americans in there, and there's Hispanics and they're Black people. Americans like, oh, there's a lot of Asians in there. And it's like, it's a melting pot. It's like, this is amazing. Boast about it. It's okay. Brag about it, because that's the kind of business we're in. Inclusive, but global. This is real global business. It's not just talk. You see the face. Look at how happy they are. I love the Anaheim video because they also include little snippets of an interview where people say very positive things in that video. So I send that type of video off so people know what it is. Then I said, our competitive edge is Dr. Dan, the science. So I start with the shortest video, okay? Unless they are very interested in health. The biggest video I would send is the 16-minute video with all the product. That's the biggest video with the first contact, okay? And then I would send the cut from the Wild Book, or on the Spark Global, you can find that video about absorption technology. It's only, I think, 7 or 8 minutes. Very short with Dr. Dan. So, of course, I brag about Dr. Dan before I send it. You got to tell the story before you send the information. And how about this? You take a look at it. If you like it, when you're going to look at it, when can we talk again? So before I even send all that, after I tell the story, before I send all that, before I hang up the phone, I said, how about this? Are you going to look at it tonight? Okay, you know what? I'll call you after. What time is good? I take the initiative to make the follow-up appointment before I hang up on the phone, before I hang up the phone. Does it make sense? Okay. So same thing, either, when you text, It's a give and take. You don't want to just blast them with the text and then ask for a follow-up. Oh my gosh, you just, you just lost. Okay. You got to ask for the follow-up before you send the information. It makes sense? Okay. It's a give and take. If they do one thing, then you do another. If they do one thing, you do another. You ask questions. So those are the very simple skills to start piquing interest, inviting, and then leveraging your sponsor. Look, if you are talking with somebody, your sponsor or upline, leader, they should be just a phone call away or video call away. That's what I would do. Even if you know all the answers, if they have questions, let your business partner or your leader answer them for you. So you got to make sure before you talk to that person, you go to that appointment, before you have the phone call, make sure your sponsor or your leader know that you're doing that, and that they make sure that they are available to help you. That's the easiest way to build. That's the shortcut when you talk to somebody to try to answer their question, overcome it, etc. That is the shortcut when you leverage somebody else. Okay, because when they say no, they don't say no to you. They say no to that expert guy or gal. You see what I'm saying? Nothing personal. We're still friends. It's good. And you should also always keep it where sometimes you have to be just authentic, right? And it's okay. Any fear that you have, any reservation that you have, most of the time you can talk it out with the other person because they know you, and that's fine. That's okay because you're being authentic. They appreciate that. For example, let's say like your story. Your story has to be authentic. It can't be just like, well, I came in to make some money. Yeah, that's so superficial. Come on, right? It's like, you know what? I'm 55 this year. I'm looking to retire maybe in 5 to 10 years from now, and this is my retirement plan. Because my job is not going to make it. I'm never going to overcome that 20 to 40% inflation at the gas pump. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay to be authentic because your pain can also be their pain. They might have the same pain as you, and pain is a big motivator. You see? Okay. So tonight I'll leave it at that because there's so much more to talk about. The WOW book, the digital version, we're going to update with a couple of more new links. Hopefully by the end of this week, we can blast it out to everybody in the Spark community group, and then also filter down to everybody else. Looking forward to our next session. And I want to thank Sally and Dr. Green, Dr. Bob again for kind of initiating this and their group. And also I want to thank Dennis and Ramona, who's in the background monitoring the Zoom and helping everybody. And I wish all of you a fantastic week this week. Okay, many blessings. Do not give up, even if your business is at a dead stop. Your business, your website is still open for business. It means nothing, just a fresh start. Okay. So I tell, like, I have a friend who's an auctioneer, and this is the last story. I have a friend who's an auctioneer. So he's in, I'm like, Mike, don't give up, man. Oh, I don't know. I talk to people, they don't want it, but don't give up. Look at people, people below you, they're working. It's just that your own business haven't, really started yet. Don't give up. It just takes one person to explode. I said, don't give up. Because look, you got to give yourself 2 to 3 years time. And the hardest part is the beginning, to learn what to do. That's actually the hardest part. There were times in my previous platform where once I start doing it, I just, oh man, forget all my fear and all that. Let me just go do it first. I was just tired of struggling. I just go do. Kim's like, I said, Kim, I sponsored 20 already. She's like, sponsor another 20 more. I'm like, where am I going to find another 20? Close to my house, there's this hill. I go up there, I look down. Oh, there's a lot of cars and people. Man, you know what? People are out there. It's just that I need to get myself in front of their face. I don't know how, but you know what? When you have a why, when there's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. I need to go networking. I need to go talk to somebody. Let me go check my phone again. My list. Let me redo the whole list and do everything again. Oh, after that, I sponsor another 20, another 20, and another 20. Okay. over time. And then 5 months later, I'm doing, I mean, we talk about 6 months into that business, I'm doing pretty good. 6 months later, my income double. 6 months later, my income double. 4 months later, I got to like a rank called 6-star, similar to 6-star. It blew my mind. But it's just that it's just there will be a time when you're like, oh my God, I get it. I get this. You know what? When they say this, I know what to do. I know what to send them. When they say this, I know how to answer them. When they do this, my group, oh, nobody has a guest. Oh, I need to train them on inviting. Oh, my group, I have guests, but nobody's signing up. Oh, they don't know how to close. I need to teach them how to sign people out. I need to tell them to keep their mouth shut, just enter the app. So then when all these dots start connecting, you're like, I got to go faster. Because 1 hour, one person. Why not 1 hour 5? Why not 1 hour 100? Why not 1 hour 1,000? That's where you want to be. You see? The thing about this business is beautiful. If any of you know what Shark Tank is, first serious question they ask, what's your sales? Second question, what's your customer acquisition cost? In traditional business, the bigger you are, the more expensive it costs to acquire a customer or to build a team. In our business, it costs nothing. Just open your mouth. That is the power of our business. It's very powerful, okay? And when I look back, how before the website opened in fall of 2022, we're literally Lance Tracy, Mike McCormick, me, Kim, Daniel, having dinner, sitting around talking. All of a sudden today, oh my gosh, there's all of you and much more. Offices around the world, people making money, happy, people's lives changing. I joke because one of our leaders in Indonesia, both of them, they vacation all the time. I said, come on, guys. But look, I mean, we all go through those stages, right? When you have so much money, you got to enjoy a little bit. But here's the team. They're serious. They're working with their team, and they have some amazing people. But you know what? All of you are amazing because you spend the time to be here. Okay. Success, number one, first step, show up. So thank you so much. Okay. God bless all of you. Have a terrific day. If I have another one of these, maybe in a week or two, when I'm not traveling, I'll be personally going to Toronto on the 27th. I'll be in New York for a day on the 29th. On the 30th, I'll be in Chicago. And and then I'm still trying to work something for Bay Area. Maybe like a Super Saturday or something like that in the San Francisco Bay Area. So look, I don't care where you guys are in the world. Look through your contact. Who do you know that's in Los Angeles? Who do you know that's in Chicago? Who do you know that's in Canada? Who do you know? Wherever the leaders go, who do you know that's there? Or who on your team knows somebody who's there? Leverage, leverage, leverage. Okay. Have an amazing day and have a good night. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.